In the enduring wisdom of our Nigerian ancestors, the child who washes his hands clean deserves to eat with elders, a proverb that underscores the pursuit of fairness and the hope that justice, when sought diligently, will prevail over perceived wrongs. This saying takes on profound relevance today as we examine the latest developments in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who has filed an appeal against his life sentence for terrorism convictions. With the original trial presided over by Justice Omotosho at the Federal High Court, Kanu and his legal team are now pushing for a higher review, expressing beliefs that the proceedings were unjust and hoping for a fresh perspective from another judge in the appellate process. This move has sparked renewed optimism among IPOB supporters that the sentence could be reversed, aligning with their long-held wishes for what they see as a rectification of an unfair outcome. This narrative confirms street news. Now waiting we hear with the report, but be sure say, na confirm. Abeg, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment to help us grow and bring you undiluted news. Let's unpack the events as they stand. On February 4th, 2026, Kanu submitted a notice of appeal to the Court of Appeal in Abuja, marked under a specific case reference, challenging the November 2025 judgment from the Federal High Court. In that ruling, delivered by Justice Omotosho, Kanu was found guilty on 7 counts related to terrorism and sentenced to life imprisonment for terrorism convictions. The primary offenses included committing acts preparatory or in furtherance of terrorism, in violation of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013, which carried the life term, as well as making a broadcast around May 30th, 2021 that was received across Nigeria. In that transmission, prosecutors allege Kanu issued threats to intimidate the public, warning that anyone disregarding a sit-at-home order should prepare their will, a statement framed as inciting fear and disorder. Currently detained in Sokoto prison, Kanu is listed as the appellant, with the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the respondent. His team is seeking not just a reduction, but a full reversal, quashing the convictions on all counts, setting aside the life sentence, and ultimately discharging and acquitting him. Central to their arguments is the claim that Justice Omotosho erred procedurally by imposing the sentence without allowing Kanu the right of allocutus, an opportunity for the convicted to address the court in mitigation before final sentencing. They further contend that the judge overlooked key mitigating factors and failed to weigh essential considerations, leading to the maximum penalty without proper justification. This appeal effectively signals Kanu's intent to escalate the matter to a higher bench, where a different judge or panel could re-evaluate the case, potentially addressing what his side views as injustices in the original handling under Justice Omotosho. If narratives like this, which delve into the intricacies of our judicial system and the quests for equity that define our society resonate with you, take a moment to like this video, comment on your thoughts about the role of appeals in delivering justice, and subscribe to ensure you catch every twist in stories that impact our collective future. Your involvement makes all the difference. To appreciate the significance of this appeal, we must consider the broader backdrop that has made Kanu's case a lightning rod for national discourse. The indigenous people of Biafra, founded by Kanu in 2012, emerged as a platform advocating for the self-determination of the Igbo ethnic group in Nigeria's southeast, rooted in decades-old grievances over political marginalization, economic disparities, and the scars of the 1967 to 1970 Nigerian Civil War. IPOB's activities, including calls for referendums, peaceful demonstrations, and enforcement of sit-at-home protests to draw attention to regional issues, were met with government crackdowns. In 2017, the administration labeled IPOB a terrorist organization, citing associated violence, though the group insists on its commitment to non-violence and blames state forces for escalations. Kanu's journey through the courts began with his 2015 arrest on treasonable felony charges, followed by bail in 2017, which he allegedly violated by fleeing abroad. his controversial rearrest in Kenya in June 2021, and extradition to Nigeria, described by his defenders as an illegal rendition breaching constitutional and international rights, set the stage for the trial under Justice Omotosho. Over the ensuing years, the proceedings faced delays, health complaints from Kanu, and criticisms from human rights observers regarding detention conditions and access to counsel. The November 2025 conviction and life sentence under Justice Omotosho's oversight were hailed by some as a victory for national security, but decried by others as an overreach, suppressing legitimate dissent rather than tackling root causes like underdevelopment in the southeast. Now, with the appeal moving the case away from Justice Omotosho's court to the appellate level, where a new judge or panel will preside, there's a logical shift in dynamics. The higher court could scrutinize the trial's fairness, potentially validating claims of procedural flaws and offering a chance for re-evaluation, unburdened by the original judge's rulings.
The key actions here revolve around the principal figures. Kanu, as the central actor, has consistently maintained his innocence, portraying his activism as a fight for equity rather than terrorism. His legal team has articulated that Justice Omotosho's failure to grant allocutus denied Kanu a vital chance to present personal mitigating circumstances, such as his health issues or the political context of his statements, which might have influenced a lighter sentence. They argue this oversight, combined with inadequate consideration of broader factors, warrants a complete overturn. On the government side, as the respondent, the prosecution is expected to uphold the conviction by reinforcing the evidence of Kanu's broadcasts and activities as direct threats to public safety and national integrity. While no immediate responses from officials are detailed, the state's historical stance has emphasized the need to deter separatism to preserve unity. The decision to appeal represents Kanu's strategic push for a retrial-like review under a different judicial eye, hoping to remove Justice Omotosho from the equation, introduces impartiality, and addresses perceived biases in the initial trial. The consequences of this development span political, social, economic, and security domains. Politically, a successful appeal could pressure the government to reconsider its hardline approach to separatist groups, perhaps fostering negotiations on regional autonomy or federal restructuring to mitigate ethnic tensions. Socially, it reinforces debates on freedom of speech and the right to self-determination, potentially healing or widening rifts between the southeast and other parts of Nigeria. For communities in the region where IPOB holds sway, a reversal might restore faith in the judiciary, reducing alienation felt under what some view as an unjust process led by Justice Omotosho. Economically, the Southeast's ongoing challenges, high youth unemployment, poor infrastructure, and investment flight due to insecurity, could worsen if the case prolongs unrest, but a positive outcome might stabilize the area, encouraging business and development. Security-wise, Kanu's imprisonment has coincided with increased violence from armed groups in the region, often linked to enforcement of IPOB directives. His release through reversal could de-escalate some threats, though it risks reigniting mobilization if not managed carefully. Reactions from the public highlight the story's divisive nature. IPOB followers and Southeastern sympathizers have expressed strong hopes for reversal, viewing the appeal and the shift away from Justice Omotosho to another judge as a beacon of possibility that their wishes for Kanu's freedom will be realized. Online and in communities, there's talk of prayers and advocacy, with many believing a new judicial perspective could correct what they see as a flawed trial marred by procedural injustices. Human rights groups echo this, stressing the importance of allocutus as a cornerstone of fair sentencing. Conversely, opponents from other regions and unity advocates argue the conviction was sound, warning that reversal might embolden threats to Nigeria's federation. Legal experts provide nuance, acknowledging that while allocutus denials have led to sentence adjustments in past cases, the core evidence against Kanu remains compelling, making full acquittal a hopeful but challenging prospect for his supporters. As we look ahead, the appeal's path offers several potential directions, with the question of reversal at its core. The Court of Appeal, under a different judge or panel now that Justice Omotosho is out of the picture, will examine procedural claims. Claims like allocutus are well precedented and could prompt a remand for resentencing or even a retrial if deeper flaws emerge. For IPOB followers whose wishes center on Kanu's exoneration, there's grounded hope. If the appellate court finds the original process unjust, reversal becomes plausible, potentially leading to his discharge and a broader dialogue on Southeast grievances. However, the government could counter robustly, prolonging the matter through counter-arguments or further appeals to the Supreme Court. Timelines might extend months, during which Kanu's detention continues, but international scrutiny from organizations like the UN could urge expediency and fairness. In an optimistic scenario aligning with supporters' aspirations, reversal would not only free Kanu but signal judicial independence, possibly easing regional tensions. Yet, if upheld, it might intensify calls for political solutions like amnesty. This case tests Nigeria's commitment to balanced justice, where hopes for reversal, fueled by the change in judicial oversight, could either materialize or underscore the complexities of reconciling security with rights. Wrapping up this insightful look into a saga that continues to shape our national narrative, I'd love to hear from you. Do you think the shift to a new judge boosts the chances of reversal, and how might that fulfill the wishes of those rooting for Kanu? Like if this breakdown helped clarify the stakes, subscribe for more investigative stories straight from Nigeria's pulse, and turn on notifications to stay informed. Together, we keep the conversation going.